Alright, welcome back for the second game of our two-mans. We're on the play this time against an unknown opponent. See what we're up to. This hand is pretty sweet, even though our curve's a little high. Turn 1 Doom Traveler into Protected Cartel or Voice. Literally the best start we could have, to my knowledge. Yeah, pretty good. So we're gonna snap keep this one off. See what we're up to. Only downside, no buddy land, so we're gonna be going to 16 of our own accord, but after that we're pretty set. Hopefully draw a shock land this turn, preferably a Godless or a Tomb, so that we can set up Demon on 4 and play 2-drop into 2-drop. Alright, fighting another red deck. Pillar of Flame, well, again, at least he's not doing it to our Voice or our Cartel, and Slip's a good one. Plus, if he's not playing a 1-drop, I'm not as scared as I could be against red. Trying to think if green-red plays Pillars versus mono-red, but this looks like mono-red. Most likely Pyromancer, given the double pillar start. Into Cackler. So his hand is pretty defensive if he kept pillar, Cackler. So we miss on the land drop, but we can pretty safely say he doesn't have the 3rd pillar. If he does, congrats to him, but Voice of Resurgence, very good here. We're going to have Slip backup and Veril soon. Unfortunately, getting double pillar does kind of stymie Verils' game plan here. Phoenix is fine. If he attacks with both, we're not that unhappy. Yeah, so we're just gonna throw this Voice in the line of fire, just preserve our life total. Godless Shrine. 12, 10, 3 in hand. We pretty much have to shock here. Just apply not so much pressure, just get a board state that can block down a Hellrider. This is the downside to this deck, and pretty much every deck in the format right now. You do sometimes just shock yourself out of a game against aggro, but if we draw one more land, hopefully a friend land at this point. Don't know how many more shocks we can realistically take, but we will be able to deal with his flyer. So we did have the Hellrider. Gonna take 4 total, go down to 8. We're gonna double block this Hellrider. Although we don't get to keep Verils, it's better than taking an additional 2 for setting up a kill next turn that keeps Verils around. Ooh, our opponent didn't understand how to order blockers there. Kind of giving us a small break here, possibly. Get to Scavenge Voice onto Verils, get him out of burn range, and kind of just hope he does something that sets up our Tragic Slip. That was a big blunder here. Almost assuredly, he should have done that differently. For those that don't know, putting the Elemental token first there meant he had to assign lethal damage, meaning 2 to the Elemental and 1 to Verils. Had he done it in reverse order, Verils would have taken 2 and died, putting 1 damage on the Elemental token that becomes a 1/1, and when state bases are checked, both creatures will be dead. Double Phoenix here, pretty bad for us. Desecration Demon, hitting the land and not shocking ourselves, about the only out we have here. Double Tragic Slip. Well, that is not something we can really deal with. We have to keep barrels back in case he has something like an Ash Zealot or something to that effect, but sadly, looks like we're going to have to just Tragic Slip. We have the choice to double Tragic Slip one, or slips one, slip the other. There's no advantage to not just killing one here. We're dead to burn either way. So try and get a creature off the board, make him have to have a creature or a burn spell to kill us with Desecration Demon. But getting stuck on lands here, yeah, he had the pillar either way. But getting stuck on lands here, a little rough. And we weren't getting there for another 2 draw steps.
Really try and get some videos of this deck versus not mono red.
It's true. I think we of the last like 6 videos we've recorded for this deck, we've played against mono red every time. To be fair, we are 5-0 going into this game, and I'm pretty sure we've lost like 80% of our game ones. But sadly, that's what happens when you're
playing Magic Online with the intention to play Standard.
It's true. The meta is very, very heavily leaning.
Skewed. It's so skewed, and that's so annoying.
Yes. So, for those of you that didn't catch the last video, we side in 4 pieces of hand disruption. Appetite for Hellrider and Burning Earth. Duress for Burning Earth. And basically his entire burn package. The second Abrupt Decay for just obvious removal. Same with Putrefy. Just dealing with his creatures. Golgari Charm lets us have some intense blowouts, especially since he runs a lot of X1s. Also, if he's on the Young Pyromancer plan, which a lot of Magic Online red decks are, it blows them out as well. And Barter in Blood for kind of like a restabilization tool, say in case he were to go Phoenix, and we could trade off Lingering Souls and then barter him back to the Stone Ages. So here we go. Hopefully we'll get another good start. That he can't just pillar away. Double pillar is pretty rough. Alright, we'll be on the play. And we have a keep. We get to Appetite him on 1 if we really want. But it's pretty unlikely we're going to Appetite on 1. There's nothing we fear, obviously, since it can only take a 4 or higher. But it has 2 pieces of key removal. A Tragic Slip, which will kill his 1-drop. And Appetite for a little later, along with only 1 uncastable, color-wise, off Lingering Souls. But not that unhappy with the current situation. No 1-drop. So it looks like he is the big red deck. A little bit more focused on 3s, 4s, etc. So we drew another piece of removal. Not too bad. Not too worried about any 2-drop he's going to play with haste. So I think now is a good time to kind of take a turn off, Appetite him, see what he's working with, have a chance to kind of play around his grip a little. Alright, so this is a really awkward hand for us to deal with. 2 mountains, a mortars, 2 spears, shock, Phoenix. So basically we are never going to have Phoenix not be on the table. He has too much burn that deals damage to our face. Oddly enough. And did he draw? Yes, he drew a 2-drop. How lucky of him. So we're taking 2 here. We're not too upset about that. Pretty much we would love to draw white land, even though we know he has removal for our Lingering Souls. If he keeps 1-for-1ing us, that's more than fine. We missed on land. Little rough here. He's going to go land Chandra's Phoenix, to which we respond by killing his Ash Zealot. Like we said, Phoenix will always be on the table, so we we pretty much have to just kind of accept that Phoenix is going to be an inevitability in this game, and we just have to try and draw a white source and trade with it through creatures rather than through ditching card advantage. Yep, so this game looks like it's going to be over pretty quickly if we can't draw a white source. Just off of what we know in his hand, he can deal 8 points of damage to our face, so we're at virtual 6 after this attack already. We pretty much just have to rip an untapped no-shock white source here. Sadly, we're at the point where shock doesn't really matter. We're going to double block here. If he uses a spear on one of our creatures, we're ecstatic. But I have a feeling he's just going to start putting these to the dome. So there goes one spear, puts us to 9. The other spear puts us to 6. Shock puts us to 4. And Chandra's Phoenix puts us to 2, assuming he deals with a spirit, or deals with both spirits. We know about Mizzium Mortar's Shock in his hand. Assuming he didn't just rip spear here, in which case, yes, we will die to all 4 spears, a 2-drop and a 3-drop. Other than that, we're not quite dead, but we are definitely hurting. Yep, so he's going to shock one of the spirits. If he Mizzium Mortars the other spirit, I'll be rather surprised. We're just going to throw a spirit in front here. Mainly because, though we actually don't know if he has another piece of burn, but that's the only thing that kind of makes sense here. Stromkirk Noble's fine. If we draw any land, alright, so we got a little lucky. We get to play Lingering Souls and hold up double Tragic Slip, which we don't have to use any of our Lingering Souls tokens to turn on. We know about Mizzium Mortars, and he has one other card in hand. So if we can slip Noble, slip Phoenix, and untap, we're going to be in a really decent position, given that we get to play Voice into Traveler with Golgari Charm to hopefully get him at some point. Still a little unfortunate that if he ever hits 6 mana, we don't hit a Duress or a Sin Collector. He will just get to Wrath us. But at this point, all we can hope to do is stabilize. So Mizzium Mortar's one spirit. That is actually, he's been very aggressive with his removal on our Lingering Souls tokens. He's used 2 real removal spells. We are just going to snap double slip here. Keep around a token. But I'm very excited that he's burned real piece of removal on our quarters of our Lingering Souls tokens instead of just waiting till he hits 6 mana to wrath us. Sorin would be amazing here. Fiend Slayer Paladin, basically any form of life gain. We're in the danger zone here. Yeah, he just ripped another spear, so we get a 3 with him now having Phoenix back in hand. Very dangerous for us, but yeah. Can't play around the 3rd spear so much. Garrick's pretty good. It's going to allow us to fight Phoenix next turn. We're going to play Voice of Resurgence and hold up. Well, if he has... We can't actually beat a piece of removal into a burn spell. But I feel like he would have just burnt us out if he had that. So we're just gonna play a spirit, let him play out Chandra's Phoenix, block obviously, and then play Garrick. And all right, so he's gonna pillar us. So I'm gonna guess he drew another piece of burn, making So this game was very abnormal. He drew 3 1-mana burn spells, 3 2-mana burn spells, and Amizium Mortars and 2 creatures. We didn't draw any life gain. He dealt 4 plus 9. He dealt 13 points of damage to the face. Possibly could have done 15. You're not going to win that game, no matter what. He got very lucky. That's all I can say on that game. And there was our pieces of disruption we really wanted there. So, yeah, that was the mono red game. Usually pretty easy actually, but you can't beat 15 points to the face. So, oh well, it happens.